Oh, all right, okay. I think we're good. Double check. Oh no. All right, there. Am I good? Yeah, I think it takes a while to get set up. So welcome back everyone to another Facebook Live yoga class. I hope you're having let's get the hair out of my mouth, a really nice week. I hope you've been enjoying the weather. I hope everything's going well with you. And I hope you're ready to do some yoga with me. So today, very highly requested. By highly requested, I mean a few people have asked for it. We're going to be focusing on the shoulders. And actually, shoulders, when I say shoulders, not so much shoulder strengthening stuff. We are going to be doing that a bit later on in the week, actually, with our headstand prep class on Friday. Is going to include a lot of dolphins and stuff like that to work into strengthening the shoulders. Thanks, Mum. Biggest fan. But today we're going to be working on shoulder flexibility in particular. Like I said, highly requested. A couple of people have asked for it. And one of my favourite things to teach, actually, because if you're like me, you hold a lot of tension in your shoulders, you hold a lot of tension in your neck. If you work at a desk all day, you're rolling your shoulders forward. We're going to be focusing on a lot of movement that kind of like rolls the shoulders back. We get broad across the chest. We're going to work with the upper back a lot today as well. So yeah, all my favourite shoulder openers in one class. Love it. Looking forward to teaching it. So we're going to need a strap for sure, or a belt, dressing gown cord, something similar. And if you do have a block or like a fat book or something, you might want to keep it handy, because we're going to do a couple of seated postures to begin with, and then towards the end there is a posture we may need it for, but you don't actually have to have it. If your hips are tight, you just might want to keep something like that nearby. Any injuries you need to be mindful of, check with your doctor before doing this. Out of my hands. Alright, I think we're ready to begin. I am very much looking forward to doing this. I just get massively tight shoulders. Alright, apparently a lot of other people do as well. We're going to start in seated. What a treat. So at this point, if your hips are tight and sitting in a cross-legged position on the floor is very uncomfortable, if your knees are very high, you're going to want to get a block, you're going to want to plonk your butt on a block or something to lift the hips up. I'm very far away from the camera today. Oh, I just feel very far away. So I'm going to sit on a block. I just think it's sometimes a bit more comfortable. If your hips are tight, knees are high, it's going to cause you to curve in the back. You're going to start to sink back, your shoulders will roll forward. And what we're trying to achieve in this seated position is to extend through the spine, to move forward on the sit bones, and to try and keep everything nice and lifted. Challenge him. Might want to block. Alright, I feel like we're going to start. A bit of a funny mood today. So cross-legged, you can place the hands on the knees, or you can place the back of the wrists on the knees with your pointy finger and your thumb in a circle and the other 3 fingers extended straight. Up to you what you want to do. The benefit of having the back of the wrists on the knees is you can gently press the hands into the legs to lift the chest, to draw the shoulder blades back. But if you're just placing the palms on the knees, you can do that, arms straight, roll the shoulders back, lift up through the core, the lower spine, and then gently tuck your chin in towards your chest, keep the back of the neck nice and long. And we're going to stay here for a couple of deep breaths. We're going to really see if we can focus on our posture in these beginning seated postures. Oh, it's already, I have taught a class today already, so. So take a couple of breaths. Okay, so lifting through the crown of the head. Beginning by slowing the breath right down. No matter what kind of yoga class we do, breath is first and foremost. Trying to find a steady rhythm in and out through the nose, and then making the inhales and exhales equal in length. Moving the breath up a little bit higher into the chest. So feeling the rib cage rise and fall, and if your upper back is tight, you may even feel a little stretch on every inhale in that area. Okay, so just bringing the attention into the room, seeing if we can tune out any distractions. Really tricky, but just doing your best. And then remembering our posture. So as soon as you take the attention away from the posture, things start to very slowly kind of disintegrate. But we're moving forward on the sit bones, we're extending through the lower back, shoulders draw back and down the spine, and the chest is broad. Okay, lovely. So open your eyes if your eyes are shut, and then we're going to begin with a couple of seated shoulder openers. So take your left arm out in front of you, place your right elbow on top of your left elbow, turn your left forearm up to face the ceiling. Inhale here, then exhale. We're using the left arm to guide the right arm across the body. All right, a very complicated way of saying that we're just drawing that right arm across the body. Now, be mindful that you're not twisting, so the chest stays facing forward. We don't want to bring this into a twist because we want to isolate the stretch in the right shoulder. Feel that stretch across the upper back. Sitting up nice and tall. And keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Okay, a few more moments here. So you want that right arm to be straight if possible. Okay, wonderful. Then take your arms back to center, and then we're just going to change sides. So now place your left elbow on top of your right. Right forearm faces upwards. Inhale here, then exhale. Just guiding the left arm across the body now. Making sure we're not coming into a twist, so the chest stays facing forward. Isolating the stretch in the left shoulder. You might feel it across the upper back as well. Spine long, neck long, and then always moving forward on your sit bones to avoid leaning back. And at this point, you probably realise that one shoulder might feel a little bit tighter, usually is the case. So making a note of that, it will definitely become a bit more apparent as we move through some of these postures today. And then exhale, just release. Release the arms, give your shoulders a shake, lovely. And then from here, you're going to interlace your hands, and then you're going to lift your arms all the way above your head. And then if this is enough for your shoulders, and sometimes it is, you can stay here. Otherwise, we're going to flip the palms so they face the ceiling. And then inhale, really. See if you can squeeze the shoulders up right by the ears. So this is tricky, this posture. It doesn't look like much, but it's really hard. Extending the arms as much as possible, pushing the palms up towards the ceiling. Hugging the sides of the head with the arms if possible. Taking this into a side stretch now. So inhale, lift again, and then as you exhale, very subtle movement, taking the arms over towards the right. So we don't want to like, collapse over to the right. We want to keep the integrity through the spine. We want to keep the left side of the body lifted. And then push the arms away as much as you can. You're going to feel that deep stretch come into your left shoulder, left side body. Subtle movement. Okay, amazing. Then inhale back to center, and then as you exhale, arms come over towards the left. Then pressing the palms away, feeling that deep stretch now come into the right shoulder, right side body. Not collapsing over to the left. So we're keeping strong through the obliques here. Okay, and then inhale back to center. Lovely. We're going to take this into a little forward fold now. So very simply, inhale here, then as you exhale, just round the upper back, curl the chin in towards the chest. We're coming down halfway, and then press the palms forward. And then exhale, just release the hands down, unclasp, give your shoulders a shake. Got a little bit distracted there because it is like a frenzy in my garden with birds at the moment with all their babies. It sounds like a zoo. All right, so give your arms a little shake. And then we're going to make our way into all fours. We're going to come through some cat-cows and some all four shoulder openers. So fingers spread underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, top of the feet on the floor if possible. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift the hips, lift the chest, look forward, little back bends. And then as you exhale, we're going to round the back. So press into the hands, tuck the hips under, draw the chin in towards the chest and arch the spine. So the inhale lifts, belly drops, chest, hips lift, back bend, shoulders squeeze together. And then as you exhale, we're just rounding through the spine, arching the back up towards the ceiling. And now take a couple of rounds of this using your own breath. So the whole of the inhale lifts. And then the whole of the exhale round. So we're waving through the spine. A really good posture to open up into your shoulders. The more you press into the hands on the exhale, the deeper the stretch across the shoulders and in the upper back. And then gently squeezing the shoulder blades together on every inhale. Quite similar, the exhale movement to what we just done with the palms pressing away from us in that little halfway fold we done. Okay, a couple more rounds of this, so there's no need to rush through these. You really do want the movement to be as slow and as controlled as possible. And then on your next exhale, just come back to a flat back. You're in an all four position. So we're going to come into thread needle now, another great shoulder opener. So from here, we're going to drop our right shoulder down to where the right hand is. So drop the right shoulder vertically down, lay the right shoulder on the floor, right cheek on the floor, look left. Hips are high, so knees are still underneath the hips. You've got your left hand on the floor, left elbow is over the wrist, and then you can use the left hand on the floor to make the posture a little bit easier if you want, so you can press into that left hand to take some of the weight out the right shoulder if you need to. So this is quite a deep shoulder opener. You might want to move around a little bit to find the position where you feel it the most. So you can shuffle if you want. Very similar to the arm across chest pose we done earlier, except this time a little bit more intense. As well as being a shoulder opener, it's a twist. We're working across the upper back. Okay, you're more than welcome to stay here, but you can make this a little bit more intense by bringing the left shoulder into it. So what you would do if you want to add something on is you would inhale, raise the left arm up towards the ceiling, wrap it round the body, take hold of the right thigh, top of the right thigh, or place the hand on the small of the back. So you just want to maybe grab a bit of t-shirt, just find something that you can get a hold of to help you roll that left shoulder back as the weight of the body comes down into the right shoulder. Okay, nice, slow, steady breaths. Okay, wonderful. Then as you inhale, left arm extends up. And then exhale, bring left hand to floor, press yourself back up on the inhale into all fours. And then we'll do exactly the same thing the other side. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and then dropping the left shoulder down to where the left hand is, threading the arm underneath the body, laying the weight of the body down into that shoulder. Left cheek on the floor, we're looking right. Then the right hand's on the floor to begin with, right elbow over the wrist, and you can use that to help take some of the pressure out of the arm if it's all feeling quite uncomfortable. Then feel free to find some movement. Sometimes you need to shuffle a little bit to feel it sometimes. Especially if your shoulders are quite flexible and you might need to shuffle around a bit. Okay, You can stay here if you want to deepen the posture. You inhale, right arm up, wrap it round the body. Either place it on the small of the back, grab a bit of t-shirt, or take hold of the left thigh. And then use that to roll the right shoulder back as the weight of the body comes down into the left arm. And just noticing if one side feels a little bit different, a little bit tighter. Keeping the breath steady. Okay, wonderful. Then inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, back up into all fours. And then coming into child's pose, so feet and knees together if possible. Bum towards the heels. Forehead down. And then just take the arms either side of the body and let the shoulders totally relax here. Maybe give your wrists a wriggle. If it's very uncomfortable to have the feet and the knees together, feel free to separate the knees a little. And then inhale, make your way back up into all fours. Okay, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. We're going to do a posture called rabbit pose. Now, in case you haven't done it, just watch me. Rabbit pose starts from the child's pose we were in. Really, you do need your feet and knees together. So if that isn't happening for you today, maybe just hang out in the wide-legged child's pose. Otherwise, what we do is we start from that child's pose position and we take hold of our heels. Now, if you cannot take hold of your heels, you can just take hold of your calves, your ankles, or somewhere similar. From here, we roll our chin in towards our chest, so the forehead comes towards the knees. And then as you inhale, you roll up onto the crown of your head, you lift the bum away from the heels, and then you pull on the heels. So you're going to feel this really deep stretch across your upper back, into the shoulders, and the arms are strong. So that's what it looks like. It doesn't matter how far the bum lifts, just do your best. We'll give it a go. And if you want to hang out in child's pose and give this one a miss, absolutely fine. Be mindful of your neck in this posture. You want to be on the crown of your head, not the forehead, not the back of the head. So let's start in child's pose. Feet knees together if possible, arms either side of the body. From here, see if you can take hold of your heels, your ankles, your calves. And then draw your chin in towards your chest, draw your forehead towards your knees. And then as you inhale, very slowly lift your bum away from the heels and place the crown of the head on the floor. So we're trying to keep the forehead as close to the knees as possible. And then the arms are strong, really pulling on the heels to feel that deep stretch across the upper back. It's a really good posture for your upper back. And then just hold it here for a few deep breaths. Every inhale, maybe lifting the hips a little bit higher. And then exhale, just release, wonderful. Come back onto your forehead, let your arms relax either side of the body. Back into child's pose, so the bum and the heels are as close together as you can possibly get them. And then to work into the shoulders a little deeper from this position, we're just going to interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze our shoulder blades together, and then as you inhale, straighten the arms, the straightest arms you can get away from the lower back. So this time, we're still keeping the bum drawing back towards the heel, so we're not coming up in this one. Just really working those shoulders together like you're trying to smush something between them and feeling the stretch in the shoulder blades across the chest. Every inhale, maybe seeing if you can lift the arms a little bit higher. But if shoulders are really tight, this might be quite uncomfortable. So don't push it, listen to your body, do your best. Definitely counteract that rolling forward action we get when we sit quite a lot. And then as you exhale, just let the arms flop either side of the body. Shoulders really heavy, no tension in the neck. And then whenever you're ready, inhale, make your way back up into all fours. Fabulous. So we're going to come into downward dog, and we're going to focus on the shoulders a little bit. So if you want to come into all fours, fingers spread, any gaps underneath the fingers, press them down, feet hip width apart, then tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, and we're coming into downward dog. Now this first downward dog, we're just going to take it quite slow actually. We haven't done much with the hamstrings. So just feel free to pedal one heel down towards the floor and then the other. So working into the calves, the hamstrings, making this movement really slow and controlled, maybe pushing your hip back as you draw your heel down, and that will bring a deeper stretch up towards the glute. Keep the head heavy so there is no tension in the back of the neck. And we'll just sort the lower body out before we sort the upper body out. Okay, so a few more rounds of this, doing well. Eventually we're seeing if we can draw the weight into the legs, draw the thighs to the back of the room, and stay long through the spine. Okay, stop pedaling, see if you can draw your feet back just a little bit more. If your heels are down, feel free to lift the toes. And then as you exhale, onto your knees, and then make your way into whichever variation of child's pose you like the best. So feet and knees together or feet and knees apart, arms out front or either side of the body. And then just rest here for a couple of breaths. And then inhale, make your way back up into all fours. Fantastic. So we're going to come back up into downward dog. So lower body, your feet are hip width apart. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. The heels do not have to be on the floor. We're just seeing if we can pull the thighs to the back of the room. Okay. So now we're going to focus on the upper body a little bit. The shoulders, the arms. So fingers spread, pressing the hands into the floor, tuck your toes and send your hips up and back. Again, bend the knees if you need to, heels don't have to be down, feet are hip width apart, legs are sorted. Now, shoulders, hands and arms. So press the palms down first of all. If there's a gap underneath your fingers, flatten it. Now press forward with the arms to take the hips back. The arms are straight, the head is relaxed. And sometimes it's a little bit tempting to hunch the shoulders up by the ears, but see if you can roll your armpits down towards the floor to stay broad across the upper back. It's quite difficult to feel that unless I come and adjust you, but that's kind of the best cue I found so far. Then we're drawing the chest towards the shins. Okay, so arms are quite strong here, shoulders are broad, upper back is broad, spine is long. Pushing the floor away with the hands to take the hips back, and then let your head relax. We're looking eventually towards our navel, but maybe back between the thighs for today. So the head hangs down between the arms, and then hold it here for a few more deep breaths. And then as you inhale, feet forward, look forward, hands stay on the floor. Exhale, drop the head forward, fold. And then inhale, arms all the way up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Lovely. Give your shoulders a little shake. So we're going to come through some standing shoulder openers now. We're going to chuck a sun salutation in between each. And I suppose while I said at the beginning that we're not really focusing on shoulder strength, the sun salutations are all shoulder strength. The planks, the jump backs, the chaturangas, the low press ups, your up dog if you keep your thighs off the floor, and your downward facing dog. So sun salutations are a good way to build shoulder strength. So we'll put those in between. But to begin with, we're going to work with some sort of like cow face arms is what I call them. I don't know if that's actually what they're called. So we are going to stand with our feet hip width apart. I'll do it this way so you can see my arms. So feet hip width apart. Very simply on your inhale, you're going to lift the right arm up towards the ceiling as much as you can. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the right elbow, place the right palm in between the shoulder blades. Okay? So we've lifted the right arm up, we've bent the right elbow, and we've placed the right palm in between the shoulder blades. The left arm at the moment isn't doing anything. Now try to keep looking forward. So sometimes it's very tempting to kind of bring the chin in towards the chest, but we want to keep the back of the neck nice and long. So you're long through the spine, you're not crunching into the neck. And then press your right palm into the back so that you can draw the right elbow back. So eventually there's a little gap between the head and the elbow. Okay, slow, steady breaths. If you need to nudge the elbow down, if you want to work a little bit deeper, you can take the left hand to the right elbow and do that. But then once you have nudged it down, take the hand away again and see if you can keep it there by yourself. All right, I'm just going to hold it here for a little bit. Not much to look at, but very effective. You should be feeling that work in the right shoulder. Standing up nice and tall, cores engaged, feet hip width apart, and breath steady. So you can have your eyes open or you can close your eyes in this, doesn't really matter. Keep pressing the palm into the shoulders, keep working that right elbow back. Okay, wonderful. Then as you inhale, extend the right arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, just let the right arm relax. Give your shoulder a shake. Fab. Going to do the same thing the other side. So feet hip width apart and parallel. Then as you inhale, left arm up, big stretch. And then exhale, bend left elbow. Place the left hand in between the shoulder blades. Feel free to nudge the arm down with the right hand, but then just remove it and then let the right arm relax. Looking straight forward, and then really seeing if we can press the hand into the back, draw that left elbow back, and then just hold it here. Standing up nice and tall, keeping the breath even, in and out through the nose, noticing if one shoulder feels a little bit tighter. So if you're right-handed, your right shoulder will tend to be tighter. If you're left-handed, your left shoulder will tend to be tighter. That's not a hard and fast rule. It's just because I'm a right-handed person, I use my right arm more. So it's tighter. That's what it is. But you might be different. Okay, a few more breaths here. And then inhale, extend left arm up. And then exhale, just let left hand hang down, give your shoulders a little shake, and then come to the front of your mat. So balls of the feet together, ankles slightly apart, lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back, and head slightly tilted forward. So the arms are relaxed, either side of the body. Moving through our sun salutation, so as you inhale, lift the arms up, look up. But we're going to hold this one, hold this. We'll take the first one nice and slow. So let's think about the shoulders in this. Now, some people, everyone teaches differently. So some teachers are going to tell you to plug your shoulders down. Don't do that. Lift your shoulders up. There's no point in having an upward lift if we're going to then sort of plug it down. So lift your shoulders up, but roll your shoulders forward away from your ears. That's how I teach it. Gently tilt your head back, look back between the arms up towards the thumbs. So we're not interrupting that real sense of a lift up through the upper body. And then as you exhale, forward fold. So coming into the forward fold, drop in the head, and we're going to hang out here for a little bit just to work the hamstrings a bit more. So the back of the neck is totally relaxed. Bend your knees as much as you need to. The weight comes forward into your toes ever so slightly. And then don't let the elbows just fall out to the side. The elbows are gently drawing in towards the shins. as well as working into the back of the legs, you should be feeling something in your lower back, tension releasing in that area. Okay, wonderful. Then as you inhale, look forward, lengthen. So take the weight into the hands, the weight comes into the shoulders. As you exhale, step or jump back to plank. And then from plank, lower down to a very low press up, or the floor, elbows in. You inhale a back bend, just hold your back bend, whether it's shallow or deep. Lead in with the chest, squeezing the shoulders back. Okay, so we don't want the shoulders to crunch up by the ears. We want to really see if we can keep the shoulders back and down. And then exhale, roll over the toes, come into downward dog. So feet hip width apart and shoulder width apart, pressing the floor forward. So forward through your arms to take the hips back, and then the head relaxes. Okay, deep slow breath. See if you can get the arms as straight as possible. And then inhale, feet forward, weight in shoulders again, look forward. Exhale, drop the head. And then inhale, arms all the way up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Give your shoulders a little shake. Yeah, so everyone teaches differently. So for me, when we come through the up thing, okay, like this, doesn't make sense to be lifted and also trying to plug the shoulders down. That actually doesn't make any sense. It's a cue you hear a lot actually. Lift the shoulders up, lift the arms up, but bring the shoulders down. If the arms are up, by default the shoulders are up. So when you lift the arms up, instead of like doing that, all you have to do is roll the shoulders forward and take your head back more, and that way you're going to give the neck plenty of room. That is just how I teach it. Okay. So I've been really pedantic today. I taught a class earlier as well, and I was like, don't do it like this because it's stupid. It's a little bit bitey today. So we're going to do a shoulder opener the other way. This way is a little bit more challenging. We'll see what happens. Again, if you're right-handed, you tend to right and do stuff with that shoulder forward. This is really going to challenge that movement, keep the shoulder back. We'll start with the right arm, just because most of us are right-handed and I want to get the hard one out of the way first. So what we're going to do is we are going to inhale, roll the right shoulder back. And by that I mean really exaggerate that movement. See if you can really roll that right shoulder back. Then bend at the elbow and see if you can feed the right arm up the back. So we're still trying to bring the hand in between the shoulder blades or thereabouts. But this time the palm is facing away from us. So the palm is facing outward. Now if you cannot get the hand between the shoulder blades, no problem. Take the hand lower. You can even have the hand on the lower back. Either way, what you want to do is keep pressing through the back of the hand to bring the right shoulder back. Okay. You should feel quite uncomfortable if you're doing it right. So feeling that stretch in the right shoulder, definitely counteracting that sit-in motion. Standing up nice and tall. Okay, so you have the option, and this is literally not even a big deal, but if you can reach and see if you can take hold of the right elbow with the left hand. Not a big deal at all. All it is doing is making the right shoulder stretch a little bit deeper. But we're all working at the same intensity, because if you cannot take the elbow yet, it means you're on your edge. You're feeling it quite intense. And if you can take the elbow, it means you're going to be feeling it as intense as you can feel it. So everyone's working at the same point. This isn't important. Don't get caught up on it. Just keep pressing the back of the hand into the upper back to work the right shoulder back. Breath steady. Okay, fabulous. Few more moments here. Very good prep if you want to work stuff like reverse prayer as well. And then just exhale, release. Release the hand if it's on the elbow, release the arm down very slowly, and then just give your arm a little shake. Wonderful. Let's do the same thing the other side. If you're left-handed, I'm sorry in advance, but if you found the right side really difficult, right-handed, then you might find this side a lot easier. So I think you'll be surprised with the difference. So roll that left shoulder back. Again, let's exaggerate the movement. Let's really roll it back as much as you can, like a dance move. And then bend at the elbow, feed the right arm up the back. So eventually, hopefully, getting the hand a little bit higher up between the shoulder blades, palms away. But if that's not happening, lower back is fine. But just keep pressing the hand into the back to keep the shoulder drawing back. Okay, standing up nice and tall. Try not to massively flare your ribs either. I'm guilty of this, is why I'm saying it. So like, butt sticks out, ribs stick out, tailbone tucks under, cores engaged, stand up nice and tall. And then you have the option of taking hold of the left elbow with the right hand. Okay, wonderful. A few more moments here. And then exhale, just release the elbow, release the left arm down and give that left arm a little shake. I feel like I've got spaghetti arms now. Alright, so we'll move through another sun salutation. I'm not going to stop you in this one, we're just going to move through it. But remember, as we inhale, you want the shoulders forward, but you do want that upward lift. So you imagine I'm behind you with my hands on your shoulder blades and I'm lifting them up. So we're not plugging the shoulders back down, we're lifting them up, we're rolling them forward. And then in your up dogs as well, lead with the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades back and down. Right, so feet together at the front of your mat. Lift your shoulders, allow them to fall back, head slightly tilted forward, hopefully feeling a little bit more open in that area. And then as you inhale, arms up, look up, palms together if possible. And then exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, back to plank, lower to low, press up or the floor. Inhale, back bend, shoulders back. And then exhale, rolling over the toes and coming into downward dog, holding it here. Feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, sharing the weight between the feet and the hands, then pressing forward with your arms to take the hips back. Long through the spine, great posture. Great posture for everything. Shoulder strength, wrist strength, stretching into the back of the legs, lower back. Head's heavy. Okay, wonderful. And then inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head. And then inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Give your shoulders a little shake. All right. So we are going to put those things together now. Eventually we're going to be taking the fingers or the hands behind the back. Now, if you have super duper tight shoulders, this is going to be where you may want to strap. Okay, you might want to strap handy instead of clasping the fingers. You can use the strap and eventually maybe tiptoe your fingers forward and take the bind. So if that's you, keep your strap handy, otherwise, no worries. And then we'll try and put the two together. So feet hip width apart and parallel. So we'll start by we'll start by taking the arms back first. Okay, so as you inhale, let's work that left shoulder back first. Okay, just like we done, really exaggerating the movement. And then feeding the left arm up the back. Okay, so palm is facing away, getting the left hand as high up the back as possible. Now we're going to inhale, raise the right arm up, reach as high as you can. Then exhale, bend at the elbow, see if you can find left fingertips. Okay, so at this point, maybe a strap in the right hand as you bend the elbow. You can see if you can take hold of the strap instead. Otherwise, fingers or hands. We're still working the left shoulder back. We still want a little gap eventually between the right elbow and the head, so working that right arm back. And then just being mindful that we're not flaring the ribs, sticking the butt out so we're nice and long through the spine, cores engaged. Looking straight forward, so we don't want things to be like that. If shoulders are tight, it can happen, but do your best to keep the back of the neck nice and long here. Right, let's hold it here, hang out here for just a few more breaths. Okay, fabulous. Then if you have the bind, you're just going to release. Very, very slowly untangle your arms. And then very slowly give your arms a little wiggle. Flap, flap. And then we're going to change sides. Okay, so this might be a little bit more challenging this side, who knows? Just bear it in mind, one side's usually very different. So we'll start by inhaling, taking that right shoulder back, bending at the elbow, feeding the right arm up the back. This is my tight side. But doing your best, palm faces away. And then on your next inhale, left arm comes up, you bend at the elbow. See if you can take fingertips. You can see a massive difference. Maybe hands, fingertips, maybe use the strap. And then standing up nice and tall, being mindful that we're not flaring the ribs out, not sticking the butt out, looking straight forward. And then seeing if we can find that little gap between the left elbow, back of the head. Okay, doing a really good job. Just a few more breaths here. And then exhale, very slowly release, just untangle, give your shoulders a little shake, and then we are gonna come through another sun salutation. So come forward, balls of the feet together, ankles slightly apart, lifting the shoulders, allowing them to fall back, and then head slightly tilts forward. Okay, so remember everything, remember the up dogs, remember the stretches up. So as you inhale, lift the arms, look up, palms together, and then exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, lengthen, and then exhale, back to plank, lower to low, press up on the floor. Inhale through a back bend, shoulders back and down, and then exhale, come into downward dog. So feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, press into the arms, press forward with the hands, head relaxes, arms straight, roll in. The triceps down towards the floor, keeping broad across the upper back. And then exhale, feet forward, look forward, exhale, drop the head, and then inhale, arms all the way up, and then exhale, arms by your side. Wonderful, give your shoulders a little shake. And then go and locate your strap, because this is hands down my favourite shoulder exercise. It's great. It is #1 prep, especially for various back bends, in my opinion. So back bends, there's a lot going on, but one of the things that stop people from coming up into crab, wheel, Urdhva Dhanurasana, whatever you want to call it, bow pose, which is a different one, but well, #1 thing that stops people from getting into their back bends is tight shoulders. Okay. So this is a really good prep if you are working towards wheel, bow, bridge, all the back bends. So very important in this posture, just like the others, to avoid back bending, to avoid forward folding. It's getting weird now, isn't it? So we want all the movements to be isolated in the shoulders. So we're going to do this 3 times. The first time round, we're going to lengthen the strap, and then after that we can make the strap shorter. Don't wrap the strap around your hands, because if you try to lengthen it, you're not going to be able to, and I can't help you. I am not going to be able to help you, and then you'll be stuck like that forever. So don't wrap the strap around your hands. So from here, you're going to lift the strap over your head and lengthen it so the top of the strap is touching the top of your head. I'm losing it now. Okay. So lengthen the strap, wonderful. Then from here, you inhale, lift, and you exhale, take the strap back halfway, fab. So this time, we want a little bend in the elbows. So we don't want the arms dead straight, little bend in the elbows. The elbows are facing up towards the ceiling, okay? So no weird sort of down thing like this, elbows face up, little bend in the elbows. And then we're pulling on the strap. Now if you have tight shoulders, you don't want to pull on the strap, whatever, don't. But if you want to make it a little bit stronger, keep pulling the strap. Be strong in the arms. You're going to feel that work come into your biceps. So don't do this. We're standing up nice and tall. Breath steady. What a posture. What a brilliant posture. Strengthening into the arms if you're pulling the strap. Money, if you send me a picture of you snapping the strap, I will pay you. And also working across the chest, wonderful. And now as you exhale, bring the strap down to your bum. Roll the shoulders forward, round the back, counter stretch, chin to chest. And then as you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the strap back up halfway. So you put that, I've got to make sure I'm doing it halfway, because then I'll get messages like, Ashleigh, you're not doing it halfway, you're cheating. So I just need to check. All right, chest broad. Pull into the strap, strong in the biceps. And then exhale, arms all the way overhead. We're taking the strap down towards our pelvis. Brilliant. Give your shoulders a little shake. What a great posture. Love it. All right, so we're going to do the same thing again. This time you are more than welcome to shorten the strap, but just be mindful if you shorten the strap, there is a bit more tendency for the body to want to twist and fold and back bend. So just make sure that everything's nice and upright. And then lifting the strap overhead again. You inhale, lift, you exhale, take the strap back halfway. Good, so halfway is the point where it hurts the most. Little bend in the elbows, inside of the elbow space up. Try not to puff your chest out, I only say that because I do that quite a lot, but see if you can not do that. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, pull in the strap if you want something a little bit stronger. And then exhale, bring the strap down to your butt, counter stretch. So we roll the shoulders forward, curve the upper back, tuck the chin towards the chest. And then inhale, coming back up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, strap comes back up halfway. And I'm not like a massive fan of mirrors in yoga. I don't actually care either way. But one reason mirrors can be helpful is that you can just have a little look and make sure that it is halfway and that you're not secretly cheating. And then exhale, take the strap all the way overhead, back down towards your pelvis. And then just give your shoulders a little shake, and we're going to do that one last time. So lengthen the strap if it's all getting a little bit gnarly, keep the length, or you can shorten the strap if you want to make it a bit more challenging. Last time we're going to do it. So standing up nice and tall, lifting the strap overhead, you inhale, lift, and then exhale, take that strap back halfway. Halfway, Ashleigh. Good. Okay, little bend in the elbows, inside of the elbows, face up. Be mindful not to puff your chest out. Pull in on the strap if you want something a little bit more challenging, starting to strengthen into the biceps. And then exhale, bring the strap down to your bum, little counter stretch. So rolling the shoulders forward, chin to chest, round through the upper back. And then as you inhale last time, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the strap back up halfway. Halfway. Inside of the elbow space, up. Breath steady. My voice is very high then, it's because I'm finding this very challenging. Wonderful, and then inhale, strap all the way overhead. Give your shoulders a shake and then put your strap to one side because we are done with it. We do not want to use it anymore. What a great class. not because I'm teaching it, but all these shoulder openers, just really, really good. I hope you're feeling it in the upper body and how all these postures can be really beneficial if you do suffer from shoulder pain or tight upper backs. We're going to do a couple of lying postures now. So we're going to just, you can just come down onto the floor, or you can make your way through a sun salutation. I'll talk you through the sun salutation in case you want to do it. So balls of the feet together, ankles slightly apart. Lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back. Feel that opening there. What a treat. And then as you inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, lengthen, and then exhale, back to plank, lower to low press up on the floor. Inhale through a back bend, shoulders back and down, and then exhale, downward dog. And then from downward dog, you can jump through if you're practicing your jump throughs, or make your way into seated, however you want. All right, wicked. You can do 2 more postures. You might want to block for this. I don't use a block for it, but you may. It's a yin posture. We're not going to hold it for as long as we would hold it in a yin class, but we're going to do it. So just watch me for a second, because I'm not very good at explaining this one or the next one, and people get very confused and it turns into a bit of a nightmare. So if you watch me, I feel like that's going to be better. So we start this posture on our bellies. Okay, if you're having a block, if you're using a block, put the block there. And then we want to, you know, like the posture we done right at the beginning where we stack the elbows, we're going to do a very similar thing here. So what we would do, and don't do it yet, just watch me and then I'll talk you through it again, is we simply put the right arm diagonally across towards the left, and then we put the left elbow on top of the right elbow. And then you can keep the elbow stacked, or you can even sort of cross a little bit higher up the arms. And then what you do here is you just shuffle around. Some people like to put the forehead on a block, and other people just like to let the forehead dangle. Doesn't matter. So the arms are in this position, and then you rest the forehead on a block, or you just rest the forehead over the arms. You're going to feel this. It's a massive shoulder stretch. Let's do it. So come onto your bellies. If you're using a block, fine. If you're not, also fine. You don't need to here. We're going to cross the right arm out diagonally. Then we are going to stick the left arm on top of the right, crossing at the elbows. Now, at this point, you can actually sort of like scooch the arms, cross them up a little higher, just shuffle around, and then you're going to rest either the forehead on the block, or you can just let the forehead like free float. Either way, the weight of the body is coming down into the shoulders. So we've got the left arm on top, the right arm on bottom, crossing the arms as high up as you can, and then laying the head down. Now, if you are doing this correctly, I mean, you do need to shuffle around a bit, shuffle around as much as you need to, but if you're doing it correctly, you should feel a big stretch, especially in your right shoulder. We're just going to hang out here. We can have a chat while we do this if you want. How are you getting on? So there's a big stretch in that right shoulder. Deep, slow, steady breaths. And one of the keys to this posture is just to relax as much as possible. Funny thing, I don't know what this posture is called. I done it in a class once, and I sort of like had a look at it. I really loved it. I went on Google, had a look at it, absolutely think it's amazing. But I just started calling it noodle pose. It's definitely not called noodle pose. It's sort of making names up for stuff, but when I do my class plans, I call it noodle pose, noodle arm pose. Kind of makes sense to me, but I think now I've started speaking about it, it might be called shoelace pose, but I think noodle pose sounds better, so from now on this is noodle pose. Okay, amazing. Anyway, we are going to change sides now. So very simply, unthread, chucking the right arm on top of the left, again shuffling around, crossing the arms as high up as you can, and then laying the weight of the body down, maybe placing the forehead on the block. It's very uncomfortable for me this side. Maybe placing the forehead on the block, maybe just letting the head hang down. It's one of my favourites. I don't actually do it all that often, but it's one of my faves. I've decided just now. And then feeling that stretch. I mean, you're going to feel it in both shoulders, but maybe a little bit more in the left shoulder, this side. Okay, lovely. A few more breaths. Fab. And then uncross. And then come out of it. Just make your way up. I can't even press into my arms. Just make your way up into all fours. Come into child's pose actually. Feet, knees together, or feet together, knees apart. Just let your arms rest either side of the body and let some feeling, some sensation come back into the shoulders. Maybe give your wrists a little wriggle. Yeah, deep posture for sure. If you've not done it before, highly recommend. 10 out of 10, noodle pose. Okay, fab. And then from here, actually, I was going to do another posture, but I feel like for time, we're just going to come onto our backs. So if you would like to just come onto your backs. I have recently done a shoulders and pranayama class where I include a lot of shoulder postures into it. I'll upload that on YouTube. And if you want more shoulder stuff, that'd be fine. You can go do that. What's wrong with me today? It's so bitey. All right, I don't know why I've got the block either, but you have done a fantastic job. So just hugging the knees into the chest here, rocking from side to side. Yeah, that last posture, love it. Hopefully feeling a little bit more open in the shoulders. And actually I feel like we're just going to come into Shavasana. Now, if you do have blocks, there's a really lovely thing you can do in Shavasana for a shoulder opener. Now, some people just have one, some people have two. All you would do is you would lie flat on the floor as usual, but you would place the block sort of around underneath your upper back. Around underneath your upper back. So again, something that takes a bit of shuffling. Placing a block underneath your upper back. Some people like to let their head hang, just like this, their head down. Other people find that super uncomfortable, so they would place a pillow or another block underneath the back of the head. Okay, and then you've got pillow underneath your head's lifted, but you've also got this block underneath your upper back, which is, as you can see, allowing the chest to sort of press forward, the chest to be really open, and then the arms just hang. You don't have to do that. It's just if you've got the stuff and you want to use it, then why not? It actually feels really, really nice. Definitely could fall asleep here. If you're not doing this, that's okay. Like, doesn't matter at all. Shavasana is lovely. Just make sure you've got the palms facing the ceiling. The shoulders are rolling down. So I suppose for the purpose of this class, with the block underneath the upper back, it does really hammer home the sense of the shoulders rolling back, staying really open. Okay, so letting the breath come back to normal, feeling the expansiveness in the chest. So we've just hammered the shoulders for the past hour. All these postures, very, very good for that area. Really good prep for back bends. A little bit of shoulder strengthening work with the downward dogs and such. Planks in the sun salutations. Okay, you're more than welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you want, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to call it a day. Whenever you're ready to come out, wiggle your fingers and toes, take a cactus stretch, rock about a little bit, and just make your way out in your own time. So thanks for joining me today. A bit of a funny mood today, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I do love shoulder openers. They are one of my favourite things to practice, one of my favourite things to teach. So yes, I've done a pranayama and shoulder opener class a couple days ago. I'm putting it on my YouTube soon, so that'll be there if you want more shoulder stuff. All right, I'm off. See you later. Have a lovely week. Replay as much as you want, and I love you all. I'm gonna go. I've got to go now. I'm getting weird. Right. See you later. Bye.